Hello everyone, this is Austin with the Ellis Kennedy Report. What does it mean to be a prequel? To me, it means providing something of worth to the game that came after. Or in this case, it's coming before, but still. And there's two of my favorite franchises, both have prequels. Yakuza 0 and Resident Evil 0. And I just wanted to talk about them, somewhat. I just got the director's cut $15 upgrade, which is a ripoff, but more stable frame rate and two good new added scenes, and the rest are terrible. But let's start with Resident Evil 0, since this is what the channel usually is about, Resident Evil. Resident Evil 0 is a complicated mess of a game. While the gameplay is solid, it's basically remakes gameplay. Just take out the item box, which isn't that big of an issue. Not if you played it enough times, it's never really a problem. And the removal of the self-defense items, which, But the problems, they show up real quick. So, in original RE1 and I think in remake, I'm positive, pretty sure, Jill can take like 3 hits maximum on normal difficulty and she's gone. Chris, however, can take up to 4 to 5. Well, somehow Capcom did even worse this time in that regard. Rebecca, I think on hard, can only take 2 hits, where Billy on hard could take about 5 to 6 before he even goes into caution. And on normal, he takes like 7 to 8 hits. It is absolutely ridiculous. So you're usually ending up leaving Rebecca in a room, a safe room, and just going out through the whole game as Billy, even though you don't get there's some achievements locked behind playing as Rebecca for the boss battles. You are just stuck playing as Billy, which I do like Billy, but Capcom, why did you do this? Like, bringing the partner along with you, if you're not playing as Rebecca, you're just going to get screwed, because Rebecca can take nearly no damage before succumbing to her wounds. It's just such a weird design choice. And limiting to 6 inventory slots, again like Chris, but for both characters, really makes the drop mechanic a lot more tedious. The gameplay itself is basically RE1 Remake again. Puzzles, the gunplay is near identical. There's the new added Molotovs, which they're really only good for the Leech Man. The art in this game is probably the best that the pre-rendered backgrounds ever have looked and will ever look, since we're never going back to that, because Capcom doesn't like money. The music is kind of subpar. Like, there's some good tracks. Like, whenever you're about to go fight the Bat Boss, the track that plays right before it, pretty stellar. The save room theme, what's it called? Safe Haven, I think, is really good. And the Go Save Rebecca music is good. Outside of that, the soundtrack is just, oh man, it's just not there. I don't know why. It's just pretty lame. The voice acting, it's a Resident Evil game. I don't know what you're expecting. It's decent, and it's also god awful. Whoever played old Marcus was really hamming it up and was not old enough to be doing the voice. 10 years ago, Spencer had me assassinated. Like, what? The villain is one of the worst ever in the franchise. Completely useless. The new Wesker stuff, yeah. I mean, if you like Wesker, that's pretty cool, I guess. But the story, it never comes back up in any major way throughout the rest of the franchise. And it doesn't line up with Remake at all in terms of Rebecca's character. It doesn't line up in the slightest. It makes no sense. They did fix this in Umbrella Chronicles, but, that was a Wii spinoff, and, it's a long wait from back in, what was it, 2000 something, when Zero came out. The footage I'll be using is from the HD remaster because GameCube emulation on my computer is, yeah, no, it's just no. The gunplay is solid. I don't think you can get crits as easy as you could in the OGs. This was a thing in Remake 2 where you could headshot with a shotgun point blank range and still not do it. They removed the burn body mechanic, so there's no crimson heads. It makes this even more of a stale game. I guess you can argue the Leechman replace him, but like, that's not a solid replacement. The bosses are all just terrible, except for Proto Tyrant, and he's just too easy, but he has a nice design. I mean, it looks goofy, but you know, at least it's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of, well, I mean, it's just Tyrant again, but a little worse. Rebecca and Billy have literally no character arcs in this game, which they try to give one to Billy, but I like the voice actors for both of these, but I mean, they aren't really given enough to make anything of the game. The enemy types are pretty boring, I guess. We're back to zombies, of course. Crows, zombie dogs, or Cerberus. Not Drain Demos. I don't even know their name, but they're near the end. The frogs that can insta-kill you if you're alone, which, well, that's annoying. The insect bosses, because I don't know why. The bat boss is the worst boss in the game. It's super annoying because of the many bats around him. And then the final boss is just protect Rebecca as she goes and opens all the ceiling doors. So, hey Queenie, feast on this. Yeah, anyways. Resident Evil 0 is like, oh, the best way to explain it is it's got good art, good vibes, I guess. Like the train looks awesome and all that. But it's got subpar story. It's just, it is, oh, it's just so bad. I don't know how to explain it because it adds nothing. And even in the context of just that game on its own, it really doesn't do anything awesome in the story. It just feels, oh, I know the perfect word. It just feels boring. It's the RE6 curse. Although with Zero, there's not near as much stuff going on, but it's just boring. You could be playing Remake. But at the same time, don't take my words to heart. I mean, you may love the game, and that's fine. Like, do not take my opinions on this video as facts. Like, I don't want that. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that I don't like Resident Evil 0 that much. Also, how could they give Rebecca so many costumes, but my boy Billy is just left out in the cold? He's got like 4 of them. But I think it's time that we talk about the other prequel. What it really truly means to be a great story. Yakuza 0. Okay. It's been a long time coming. I love this franchise so much. I know in recent times they're kind of washed. 7, 8, Infinite Wealth. I mean, 7, 8, Gaiden and Pirate Yakuza are all pretty bad in my eyes. But Yakuza 0, the one that didn't start it all for me. I will admit, Bakamitai was the first exposure to this franchise I ever saw. Dama da de, dama yo, dame nano yo. Anyways, then I watched, it was all by chance for this franchise. I was watching Thorn High Hills. He reviewed the games without spoiling anything, and I'm like, dude, this looks cool. This looks awesome. So I go to the PlayStation Store, and 0 through 6 were all on sale. All totaled, they are less than Yakuza 7 at the time. So I bought them, played through almost all of Kiwami till I got to the car chase scene, and I was like, this game is not for me. And then I played Yakuza 0, and then it all just clicked into place. And that's when I was screwed, because I love this franchise, and I binged every single game back to back, which was a terrible idea, but still, Yakuza 0 stands above most of the games in the franchise. I'm not going to say it's the best. Heck, if you think it's terrible, then all the more power to you. But Yakuza 0 provides a great story. Betrayal, love, loss, and the family bonds that are in pretty much every game in some way. With Kiryu and Kazuma, that's about it in this game. I mean, and you have Tachibana with Makoto, although they don't really share much time together, but still. Majima has a great arc, I won't lie, it's really good. The English dub, Matthew Mercer's given a great performance. He's just not the right fit for this character. Honestly, the English dub as a whole isn't right for me. It's just not something I'm into. Yang Yi, more like Chang-Chi. No, I don't know. He's really bad in the role. Like, I gave that in 18 hours. I played through the dub. And yeah, I was so glad when I switched it back to hear Kirita's voice. I don't know how you pronounce his name. The Japanese voice actor for Kiryu. Once I heard that voice again, I was like, okay, we're back. Kuze is one of the best bosses that isn't a final boss in the franchise. It feels like Ryuji, kinda, in a way, because you fight him so much, but unlike Ryuji, he's not the final boss. But man, Demon Pledge and Oath of Enma, one of the greatest, if not the greatest themes of all time in this franchise. It's just perfect. Yeah, I can't do the song. I don't know. And there's plenty of sub-stories to go through, which I didn't in this playthrough because I don't care about sub-stories that much. If you want to progress in the real estate minigame stuff, you're going to have to do that anyway. But I did not progress in it, so the dragon style was lost to me, which is fine because the style is kind of terrible in 0. I just don't want to spoil so much of the story, but I will admit Director's Cut ruins a little bit of the story, but we're not here to talk about that. The gameplay is just so solid. Sure, the heat bar gauge thing is very atrocious at some times, whenever, especially starting a fresh new game, because no matter what, if you're not in second gear on your heat bar, you're slow as heck. Usually, I always just stick to the brawler style for Kiryu. It's a brute force style, and it just feels the best. Plus, Force Addiction is one of the best battle themes in the series. The whole soundtrack is just amazing. Like, there's a song that goes it's so good. It plays a lot throughout some of the text boxes. And don't get me started on the Receive You remix for Kiryu, which, good luck unlocking it. The Tech Trance, whatever it's called. Oh, it's so good. Sotenbori and Kamurocho are characters within themselves. It's just like a living, breathing thing. I mean, everyone has their own little stories to tell you. It's just peak. I don't know. I'm trying so hard not to spoil the story because that's what I'd love to talk on the best. Also, the final boss with Kiryu, bravo. The Millennium Tower wasn't built yet, so thank goodness it wasn't on top of the Millennium Tower, because there's too many of these games that end like that. It's on a boat, and man, is it great. It's one of the best boss fights. It's not really all that I mean, mechanically, it's pretty darn good, but I recommend that you have Beast style upgraded because there's this part where it's kind of necessary. So I got my rear end handed to me a lot, but you know, let's talk about some flaws though. The fact that Kiryu and Majima cannot do sub stories in the opposite cities, like Majima has none in Kamurocho, even though you're in Kamurocho in the main game as him, and Kiryu has no sub stories in Sotenbori, even though you're in there in the main game. This is weird that there wasn't none. Like, you know, you could have added something. The real estate and the hostess minigame is very tedious. I don't really understand why it's a thing, but you know, if you want the hidden styles, you're gonna have to go for it. The pacing is pretty good for the most part. I'm sure there's more to complain about, but like I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, the defend Makoto sections are one of the worst things that RGG has ever created, and you know, I don't understand. Oh man, they're just so bad. Like, she takes 3 hits if she gets grabbed, and it's just ridiculous. Because there's sometimes when you hit the heat button, it just doesn't work, and if you're using something like Beast Mode, there's not enough time to switch back to Brawler or Rush to get there in time to help her out, and using Slugger, which is my favorite Majima style, is darn near impossible to protect with, because of Majima's long attack animations for Slugger. So yeah, that is really annoying. It also seems like maybe it's a frame rate thing, or I'm just bad at the game, but it seems like the heat button prompt shows up, and then when you hit it, nothing happens a lot of the time. I don't know if it's because of the added frame rate, or if I'm just rusty at the game because it's been a long time. Yakuza 0 is like a far better version of Yakuza 5 and 4 for that matter. It takes the multi-protagonist approach, but with only 2 characters, while Majima gets a way more defined arc, and it's honestly beautiful in a way. Kiryu's arc it's Yakuza 1 again, pretty much, like, sort of. Well, just minus Haruka. So, yeah, he's framed yet again. Although he's not really framed, he goes to jail again. I mean, he's not really framed in the first game. He chooses to take Nishi's place, but you know, it's pretty darn similar. Kiryu's involvement in the plot isn't like huge or nothing. It's very. I still love it because I love Kiryu as a character. Like, there is no better main protagonist than anything I've ever played or experienced. He is the best of the best. It's just a beautiful game, which I would normally recommend playing, but since RGG, mostly Sega, decided to delist the original on every platform digitally and make you have to pay $50 if you don't already own Yakuza 0, I can't recommend this right now because that is ridiculous. Yakuza 0, sure, it's worth $50, but for some stupid reason in Director's Cut, the Japanese audio itself seems to be in a lower quality at some points. Like, they just ripped it from the original, or they compressed it from the Switch port and then put it in the newer ones. It's so weird. I don't understand why you need to compress something on Switch, because it's a lot less powerful than an Xbox or a PlayStation. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, so I can't really recommend it. Although at the same point in time, if you already own the game, you know, you should replay it. It's pretty good. It defines to me what a prequel should be, not like RE0, which pretty much defines everything a sequel should not be. something that tells no meaningful story, that doesn't add to the overall plot, and doesn't even add to its own story. It's just a weak story in general. Deadly Premonition 2 is also in that category. It's pretty not great. I haven't played a lot of prequels, so these are the only three I'm really familiar with. But Yakuza 0 is definitely a masterpiece. It's not perfect, but, you know, it's pretty close. And I may eventually do a story review, but right now, it's just, doesn't really... I mean, it's a great story. That's why I really don't want to talk about it, because it's just so good. I don't think I could do it justice in a 20-whatever minute video this is going to be. But it is a beautiful game, and one that definitely deserves its recognition. But let's be honest here, it shouldn't have been the one that got remastered. Come on, it should have been Yakuza 3, but with a 30 frames per second patch. Anyways, that has been what it means to be a prequel. This is definitely different from what I normally do, and hopefully it's enjoyable. I know my mic quality is not the greatest, but I don't have another mic. I'm just having to use a headset mic. If you stayed to the end, I really appreciate it. And Yakuza 1, if I could finally get this PC to run an emulator, will be next with RE1, which, yeah, I will see you all when I get to that. Bye.